independence was signed in 1776. This is when the USA became free from the rule of the British. Truth is, however, we have been free for a lot longer than that. Freedom is our God-given right to find that freedom, joy, love, and compassion when we serve others. The writers of the Declaration of Independence were exhibiting 3 of the 12 spiritual powers when they put pen to paper and chose to become a free nation. What spiritual powers were the writers exhibiting, and how can we use them? Use those same spiritual powers to set ourselves free. Terrence Young is a new thought motivational speaker, and today he will share some stories from his life on the true meaning of Independence Day and why we were born free. Everybody, welcome to Terrence Young.
All right, so 1996, Will Smith starred in a movie where he was in the Air Force and he went off to save the world from the aliens. And after a hard-fought battle, we were victorious. And on all the screens across the world and on the intercoms everywhere, we heard our leaders say, "Today, we celebrate our independence." Yeah. That was a movie, right? Right? Yeah. That's not really what we celebrated last weekend, though. The aliens aren't coming. So what do we celebrate? And I think that some people get it confused. You know, the 4th of July, Independence Day, it's not about blockbuster movies or barbecues or fireworks. That's not what it's about. It's about more than that. So what are we really celebrating? We're celebrating the signing of the Declaration of Independence. We're celebrating when those 13 colonies broke free from the British rule and became sovereign states. That's what we're celebrating. We're celebrating our freedom as a country. We're celebrating our independence as a country. We're celebrating our will as a country and as a people. Today I'm going to share with you some stories from my life on how freedom, independence, and will correlate to 3 of our 12 spiritual powers. So the first one is freedom. Freedom correlates to the spiritual power of power. That's the ability to have dominion over your thoughts and over your feelings, over your actions. I'm going to give you a short story here. Back when I was 16, I ran away from home. I had an argument with my mother, and I remember her being very upset with me. I could hear the anger in her voice as she said to me, "Boy, you ain't free. You can't do what you want to do here. You in my house. You got to do by my rules." And as the tears welled up in my eyes, I knew she was right. So I went back to my room. And as I sat in my room for 2 or 3 hours with my thoughts and my feelings, thinking, I'll show her. With my will, I'll do it myself. I don't have to be here. And sure enough, I did just that. After it got late, I packed myself a bag, went to my window, opened it up, knocked off the screen, got outside, closed the window back down, put the screen back up, and tiptoed through the wet grass. And I got to this big white wall that was behind our house, about 7 feet tall. I had to jump over it to get out. I hopped up to the top, pulled myself through the top, and before I jumped down, I just sat there for a second to see the moonlit sky. And then I dropped down. And after that, I was free. Yes. Albeit for just a little while, I walked myself to my brother's house, and I told myself the whole way, hey, I'm free. I'm showing my power to do this. Of course, that was short-lived because my parents showed their power when they came to get me and bring me back home. Right? Now, I realized looking back on that as an adult, that wasn't the true use of spiritual power. Because spiritual power is having dominion and control over your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So you can recognize the Christ that is within yourself. Not to harm other people. That's not what it's about. And that's what I was doing. So, true spiritual power, that's what it's about. And that's what those 13 colonies were doing as well. When they broke free, they were using their power to break free from British rule. Second, we talk about independence. And independence represents the spiritual power of elimination. And why do I say elimination? Because when you're going to stand independent, you're going to stand on your own, you may have to eliminate some things from your life. Some people, some events, some actions. You may have to do that. I love spiritual elimination because here's what it says. I remove any and all things that no longer serve my unfolding good. That's true. That's true. And for me, back when I was in my 20s, I used to party all the time. I was at every club you could think of, every weekend. Waking up the next day with a hangover. That was me. That was my life. For 20 years I lived that way. And guess what? Now, I don't do any of that anymore. I don't even drink. I don't touch it. And you can say that I've grown up. 20 years will do that for you, won't it? Yeah. Or you could say that I've removed some things from my life that no longer serve my unfolding good. Now, we can put that a different way. Our bodies are designed to eliminate waste. It does it automatically, right? You do know that. You eat food, you use it, and then you eliminate it. Because if you got to go, you got to go. You do know this happens automatically, right? All right. But spiritual elimination is a little different. You got to put in a little work for spiritual elimination. You've got to remove things from your consciousness. And you got to put in work to do that. That's spiritual elimination. And when the 13 colonies broke free from the British in 1776, they were breaking those ties and using their power of spiritual elimination to do so. Yes. Lastly, we talk about our will. Will represents the spiritual power. Will is our spiritual power, one of our spiritual powers. And that is decision making. That's how we make decisions in our life. That's what it's about. And all of life is about your choices. I experienced this firsthand. When I was in sophomore in college, about 19, 20 years old, looked at my coach. I played basketball, by the way, on a full scholarship. Looked at my coach. I told him, I don't want to play anymore. I want to drop out of school so I can go to the real world and make some real money. It's not happening here. And I saw, when I talked to my coach, his name was Coach Patton. He was a big guy, about 6'4", kind of big, had a bald head. And probably didn't realize it at the time, but he was disappointment in his voice when he looked at me and said, son, I don't think that's the right choice for you. But it's your will. You got to do whatever you want to do. And I did just that. I left school. Quit. Went off to work in the real world. For a full year, I was working at You-Save bagging groceries. Wasn't exactly raking in the dough. You know what I mean? So when I realized that wasn't working for me, I decided, you know what, I better change this and do something else. I better make another choice. So I came back to Coach Patton and said, please put me back on the team. And he allowed me back on the team. Thank God. So I made another choice. And I changed my life. And anytime you want to change your life, you've got to make choices. And that's where the sequence of change comes in. How do you change your life? By going through the sequence of change. It starts with your beliefs. If you have a belief, you've got to be able to change that belief. You've got to examine it and see, can I change it? That's already in your mind. That's something you've been taught since you were a little kid. But you've got to be able to examine it. Once you change your beliefs, then, and only then, can you change your thoughts. Now, we know we can change our thoughts, right? Thoughts become things. You choose again. Once you change your beliefs, then you change your thoughts. Once you change your thoughts, then you can change your actions. Once you change your actions, then you can change your life. That's the sequence of change, and we all go through it. And when those 13 colonies, when they broke free from the British, they used their spiritual power of will, yes, to make a choice. And that choice was to be free. And isn't that what we all want? We all want to be free. We all want to make choices in our lives that help change our lives and go in the direction that we want to go. I got good news for you. You already are free. As a matter of fact, you were born free. As it says in Galatians 5, verse 13, you, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free. Yes, when it says you're called to be free, see, God doesn't call the qualified. God qualifies the called. You're already called to be free. So as we celebrate our country becoming free, also remember that you all were born free. And use those spiritual powers. If you can't find that freedom that you already have, use the power of will. Use the power of independence. Use them all to realize your freedom. My name is T.Y. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you today. And as always, allow the universe to work in your favor and be blessed.